Hello everyone, my name is Rabea.
And I'm Max.
And we are here together on behalf of Neural DSP to share with you a very exciting update as of late, which is Cortex Control.
Yeah, so this is Cortex Control. This is our desktop editor for Quad Cortex, our flagship guitar modeler and processor. So Cortex Control is really cool. It allows you to control everything, every aspect of your Quad Cortex from your desktop or from your laptop. But more than that, because Quad Cortex is quite an intuitive device in and of itself, just on the hardware, we wanted to make sure that this was a really additive experience. We wanted everything to be fast, we wanted everything to be accessible via keyboard shortcuts, and if you can see, if I grab just this amp block here, and if I pull the same amp block up on Quad Cortex, if I move the gain around, you can see just how fast it syncs. So the idea being that between Control and QC, if you have an idea, you can very quickly access it and get it set up.
So what are we going to try and show people in this video?
So I figure the best way to show anyone how to use Control or Quad Cortex is to jump through a couple of factory presets, maybe change a couple of parameters and stuff, show some of the flexibility of what you can do, and then we'll just build a brand new preset from scratch, and we'll do this all with, you know, factory devices.
That sounds lovely.
Sounds lovely. Almost like we've done it before.
Yeah. Maybe we have. Let's go, let's do it.
Sweet. As you can see, the grid from the screen of Quad Cortex is represented here on Cortex Control. And I can click on any of these devices to access the parameters and features, and I can double click to bypass them. And this is the first factory preset you get when you open a Quad Cortex. This is Brit 2203, and it sounds like this.
You'll be hearing this direct straight out of the QC from XLR left and right.
Using Control, we can do things like access the gig view, which will bring it up also on Quad Cortex. But if you don't want to do that, we can hide it via Control. So this allows me to edit tones whilst Rabea is playing, which has been super useful for us. At the moment, the gig view is in hybrid mode, but we can change that from up here, where we can set our mode configurations. And now we can flick between scene and stomp or preset if that's a mode you use. So if I have scene mode open here, and just for talking sake, we open it on QC so that it reflects. Whilst Rabea is playing, I can change scenes on the fly. I can also edit parameters whilst he plays, which is made for a really easy tone building and setup session. This has been amazing for us recently as we've prepared to do some clinics all over the place. Moving on, we can go into the directory here and we can view all of our presets. So these are all of our factory presets, and we can just grab anything we want really. So I really like this California Dream preset.
Right.
And here it is on the grid.
There we go, stereo marks.
So this is cool because if I want to then, you know, we like this tone, we're happy with it. If I want to then add a pitch shifter, for example, all I have to do, if I just remove this, is click where I want on the grid, pick what device I want from the menu here, and then now I can tune Rabea down. So every so often I like to make myself feel a little bit better about my own guitar prowess by making him sound bad. And now I can do it even easier and from a laptop, which is really the intended use.
It's a lot of power under your fingertips there, isn't there?
It's a lot of trust you give me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So diving around and like changing parameters in factory presets is all well and good, but I think if we move on to just building a preset from scratch from a completely blank canvas, that's an amazing way to show like how quick and how easy this can be. So let's do exactly that. So if I go here up to options, I can go create new preset. That's one way to do it, or I can click Command N. So we really took time when developing Cortex Control to include as many keyboard shortcuts as possible. We really want this to be a fast and seamless experience, so we took some inspiration from productivity tools, from the email servers and things like this, like where speed is key, so we can get to everything via keyboard shortcuts, including even showing the MIDI information for the preset. So we're really taking care to make that a thing. Anyway, here is a brand new blank canvas of a preset which sounds delicious. And so what we're going to do, we start every preset, or at least we've started every preset, I'm going to remove this gig view, with an amplifier. Thinking of layout on this preset, I think what we'll do is we'll kind of mimic your live setup. We'll do a clean tone, like your American Dream clean.
Yes.
We'll do like an edge of breakup crunch lead guy. We'll do a rhythm tone.
Stereo.
In stereo.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'll do a lead tone.
Yeah,
And
sounds good.
Sweet. So, thinking clean tone, let's use this Bogna Vishnu 20th, which we've been enjoying.
Sounds, well, sounds a bit...
Doesn't sound terrible.
Doesn't sound terrible.
Every amp needs a cab. So let's go cabs. Oh, this one, 69.
Nice.
Nice. So, our tone so far is an amp and a cab, and it sounds like this. Let's give that some air. Let's use this Plate Lush reverb.
Okay.
Pull that mix back a little bit. I think I'm just going to open this amp up a little bit, cranking the master.
Give it some master.
We can pull that output back a little bit just to compensate. Nice.
Very good.
So, a reasonable clean tone. Do you want a bit of compression on that?
I would love a bit
Let's
of
do
compression on that.
So let's choose a compressor. And let's go for this. Have we been using the Joe or the 87?
Yeah, we'll go 87, why not?
87.
All right.
Pull that ratio down. Awesome.
It's compressed.
It's compressed. So in no time at all, we've built a perfectly usable clean tone. Let's push this up again stage and move into crunch. So we're in scene mode at the moment. I'm going to shift to scene B. And how do we want to approach this? We can add more gain on the amp. We can add an overdrive.
I think we add an overdrive pedal.
Sweet.
Let's get varied, Max.
Variation is the spice of life. So we recently were in Japan together doing this, a very similar thing, but on Quad Cortex, and we fell in love with the Vimuro Ray effect that we have here. So let's hear how that sounds. That was
I wasn't. I don't know
was
what
nice,
happened there. It
no,
just kind of just fell off there.
It was nice. It was good.
Okay. Yeah.
I think on top of this, let's add a little more gain.
Ooh.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this gain setting on our amplifier and assign it to scenes. And then I'm just going to push that just a little bit.
Oh.
So that works. And I think we could use a little delay here, give it that
Bit of delay.
bit of a lead tone here.
Sounds good.
We'll pull this back a little bit. So this is our analog delay.
Okay.
So I only want these effects to be active on this scene B. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deactivate both their delay and their ephemeral array. I'm going to right click down here. I'm going to assign this to scenes. Same with this one. And then re-engage. And so now, when I go back to scene A, we have that beautiful clean tone.
They're gone.
This is also scene assigned their gain. And then if we go to B,
It's probably worth showing people on the ground as well. So I've got scene A.
scene A and scene B. What's nice about this is if we pull up the gig view, we can now rename these using the keyboard, which is nice and quick. So, clean.
Yeah. Can you write CAP apostrophe N and then crunch? Thanks.
It's within my abilities to do that for you.
Cheers, man.
Nice. So we have clean and Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
And what's nice about Cortex Control is that we can actually have the parameter editor open at the same time as gig view. So if we want to see where we are in our scenes, if we want to see what we're controlling, we can do both of those things at the same time, which is not something you can do on the unit itself. So that's a nice added feature. So we've got a clean tone and we've got a crunch tone. Let's make things a bit spicier. Let's move into the high gain realm.
100%, man.
Nice. So I'm just going to remove the parameter editor for the time being. And I think the best way to approach this, at the moment we're using row 1 for our clean and our crunch tones. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into our multi-out here. See if I can figure this out. Get rid of our gig view to control parameters. I'm going to scene assign this mute. And on scene C, we're going to mute this output. And on scene D, we're going to mute this output. And then down here, we're going to go input 1 on row 3 and go multi-out. And I'm going to repeat this process. I'm going to scene assign this mute and do the inverse. So on scene A, down here will be muted, and scene B, down here will be muted. Now the reason I'm doing this is I want to keep our clean and our crunch on row 1 and 2 so that we can affect those. And then I want to keep our rhythm and our lead on rows 3 and 4 just for a bit of separation, and so we can split the processing power. So we start with an amp. Rabea wants Soldano.
Didn't even have to think about that.
Who am I to deny him?
Cheeky SLO in the mix.
Nice.
Do I have to play it without a cab?
Let the people hear how it sounds. Minging.
That sounds like a little 10 watt with a broken speaker, doesn't it? Like your old Roland Cube that you found in the attic that you hadn't used since you were like 12.
I had the Gear 4 music. That was the one. Broken speaker cone. Totally crap.
Yeah.
So to make things a little bit quicker, we like this cab we chose earlier. So we Command C, Command V.
Look at that.
Quick as that. But we said we wanted things to be stereo. So let's drag our splitter here. Drag our mixer here. One thing we introduced recently was the ability to use stereo cabs. And so that's what we've done here. And so our stereo cabs allow you to send 2 different amplifiers in, and it'll independently respect and apply the same effect to the left and the right. So you only have to use one block, saving some CPU and some space on the grid. A nice feature overall. So we've got 1 amp. I'm just going to set our pan on this mixer. Oh, that's level. Do you want me to
So
do
we
it?
can pan them. We can pan the amps now
We
in
can pan
stereo
the
cab,
amps
yeah.
in stereo.
Get a stereo vibe
So-
going.
We've got a Soldano on one side. What would complement a Soldano?
Let's go diesel.
Diesel. Rabea has expensive tastes. This is a rags to riches story of tone, I think I said at one point in one of our clinic runs. Herbert or H4? Hisbert or
Hisbert.
H4?
And I'm going to go H4 this time.
Yeah? Channel
Yeah.
3 or channel 4?
Let's go channel 3.
Channel 3.
It's a good channel.
It's a good channel.
All right. Well, I haven't played anything yet, but it's in stereo and it's panned, so this is what we've got. That's got some chunk in it.
So just raise the master a little bit, just you know, open those up a little bit. So Neural DSP's amp models are as close to the living, breathing thing as you can possibly get in a digital domain. So what I really want to do is make sure that we're feeding enough into the master to like really get the best out of the amplifier. Should we do Old Faithful and add the Tube Screamer?
I think we should add Tube Screamer, Max.
We're going to.
I'm glad you thought to do that.
I know what you like. And we won't even bother listening to it. We'll just knock this down to
Because we know
1 or so. We know what we want to
the
do.
settings. Let's knock the tone up a little bit. Let's say around 2
Yeah?
p.m. There we go.
Now,
Thick.
we love high gain amps, but in this instance, I think
A little bit noisy, right? Oh,
having a noise gate to relieve everyone.
that was one of those situations where you didn't realise what you need until
the sensory nightmare
Yeah.
until now.
it's good.
So, as a quick recap of what we've done over the last few minutes, we've gone from a clean tone to our Captain Crunch tone.
Yes.
To our stereo rhythm tone. Nice. And that's taken no time at all and been super easy and enjoyable. What are we going to call a rhythm tone?
Girth.
Girth. Sweet. So I think the last step here is to go on a solo mission.
Yes.
So we're going to move on to scene D and we're going to build Rabea a lead tone, a solo tone. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to quickly take our delay from up here that we like and our reverb, and I'm going to make sure these are scene assigned. Scene assign this reverb here. I'm going to go back to a rhythm tone on C, make sure the reverb is disengaged and the delay. Come back, make sure they're engaged here. And then, ooh, that's a bit much. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure our gain
There's also scene assigned.
is also scene assigned, and we're going to add just a touch more gain.
Nice. Gain boost.
Gain boost. And also, as this is a lead, I really, as much as our ears might hate it, this noise gate can be disengaged. So I'm going to scene assign our gate here and just drop that out a bit. We still get the noise reduction, but it lets more of like harmonics and detail come through. So let's hear our lead tone.
feels good.
Nice. And a good lead tone needs an appropriate name.
Shred. I tried.
So, let's quickly recap.
Yes.
We started with a completely blank canvas, made a clean tone. Captain Crunch. Girth. And Shred. Sick. In no time at all.
That was pretty fast.
Yeah, it's fast.
I mean, it was faster than it would have been if I would tried to do it down there on the QC, but that's because we've got big fingers and, you know, I think it's nice to have the little trackpad experience.
We've been able to like work together as well. Before coming out on this trip to Sweetwater, we were at Rabea's studio, where Rabea was in his live room playing with QC and some amps, as you can see here, and I was in the control room using Cortex Control and being able to work together to like dial things in and get stuff right. It's just an amazing workflow and just really opens up Quad Cortex as a device for like professional use again.
Yeah, it's a really welcomed addition. I'm super happy it's out.
Yeah. So this is a really brief overview on what it's like just to build a preset and work in real time with Quad Cortex. I've barely touched on some of the really deep features of, you know, file management, working with neural capture, which you can do entirely in Cortex Control. I just really wanted to take a moment to like show our actual use case of building a preset and dialing stuff in together.
Show it in its synergistic prowess.
Thank you for taking the time and watching. If you have any questions about this, please reach out to your Sweetwater sales engineer. And
yeah, of course, please like, subscribe and share this video. There's a little bell notification icon next to the subscribe button. If you click that, then you can keep up to date with all future videos and updates from Sweetwater.